is Robbo, and welcome back to the channel. For those who are not aware, I am a trans person, and I talk about what it's like to be trans in American society, as well as discussing tech and disabilities and a bunch of other really interesting things. Today, I want to pull back the curtain on something that shapes every single day of my life, the two core parts of who I am, being a trans man, and also being a parent to my two incredible sons. It's been a journey packed with brutal challenges, but also moments of profound, authentic joy. And we'll go ahead and explore it chronologically, what life was like before I understood who and what I was, the process of finding my truth and coming out, and what our family looks like today. I'm also going to experiment a little bit because I usually film my videos in this register, and I'm going to try to drop my voice down to where it's comfortable because my voice has been changing recently and I can feel the difference even if other people can't hear the difference. So here we go. Let me go ahead and get comfortable. Give me just a second. Okay. All right. There we go. We're just a little bit deeper. This is more comfortable for me. For those who are tracking the time, it's been several weeks since I started testosterone. It's going to be probably week 3 on testosterone. No, week 6 on testosterone, maybe week 7. I'm not sure. I've been skipping weeks here and there, filming videos so that I can take care of real life stuff instead of tracking diligently the way I had intended to when I started this channel. So anyway, we'll find out together exactly how long it's been. So this is my new voice. This is what's most comfortable for me to be speaking at, and this is what I'm going to be using from here out until it gets deeper. Before I came out, wearing a mask. For a long time, my life felt like I was just playing a role. I was wearing a mask known as mom, navigating the world and parenting my children, all while this deep, undeniable truth about my gender lay buried underneath all of my day-to-day activities. The challenges back then were internal. It was a constant, exhausting battle with my gender dysphoria. Every time I look in the mirror, I would see someone I didn't recognize looking back at me. It felt like I was wearing an ill-fitting costume, and it was a very negative experience. There was this disconnect between who I was inside and who the world saw. It was this feeling of inauthenticity in every interaction, even with the people that I love the most. This was hard for me because I value honesty and integrity, especially where my kids are concerned, and I always felt like I was lying no matter what I did or said. I mean, how do you give yourself to parenting fully when a fundamental part of you feels hidden and denied? I always felt this existential dread, this anxiety, and had a constant struggle with my own mental health that was definitely exacerbated by not living in my truth. It absolutely wrecked me, and I'd say I was depressed for a good 10 years over it all. It was challenging to... It was a challenge to be able to be a good parent through all of that, a good mom through all of that, because I often just didn't feel up to the challenge of parenting. I was there for my boys. I was present and I loved them fiercely, but I was parenting from a place that felt very fractured. I longed for a deeper connection with them, and I couldn't figure out how to gain it because I wasn't being honest with everyone else, including myself, about who and what I was. The process of coming out, the transformation begins. The decision to transition wasn't like a light switch. It didn't just flick on and off. It was this slow, terrifying, exhilarating struggle. And once I finally admitted the truth to myself that I was trans, the biggest question mark for me was always, how will my kids take this? Will they take it well? Will they still love me as I actually am? You know, I struggled with this for years before I finally bit the bullet and told them the truth about me feeling like a man, even though I had a woman's body. It turned out that telling them wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. I had already done the difficult work of ensuring that they grew up knowing that there was nothing wrong with being gay or trans, that people who were LGBT were just different, and that didn't mean they were bad. So when I came out to the boys, it was a process, but they were able to accept me being different than they had expected me to be pretty gracefully. I initially broached the subject by dancing around it. I had asked them hypotheticals, like, if I suddenly turned into a man, what would you want to call me? And questions like that. Always hypotheticals, just to gauge how they felt about the subject. Usually their answer was that they'd accept me anyway, or they'd call me this, or they'd interact with me in that way, and it was never a full-on negative response. I felt very proud of them for being so accepting. I also provided a list of some of those hypothetical questions down in the description for this video in case you're in the same situation and you need some example ideas for hypothetical questions to ask. When I finally came out to the boys officially, it was nerve-wracking, but I knew from the hypothetical questions I'd asked that they wouldn't reject me outright. It was just a simple conversation over dinner. By then, I had already told my partner that I would be coming out, and he understood that I couldn't keep something like that from the boys. When I told them, they both took it with a shrug and an okay. I already knew from the hypothetical questions I had asked that they would want to call me Papa, and the biggest question then was it P-A-P-A or P-O-P-P-A? Papa versus Papa. You know you've done a great job with your kids when the biggest question they have about your transition is about the spelling of what they're supposed to call you now. I don't call myself their dad because that's my partner's role, and I don't want to stomp on any toes. So I just call myself their parent or their papa, and that's enough for me. And for the record, it's spelled P-A-P-A. Navigating this transition while still co-parenting with my unsupportive partner has also been its own unique journey. My partner immediately wanted a divorce because our fundamental beliefs about identity, faith, and what it means to live authentically just didn't align anymore. He believes I'm making a choice that he considers sinful, while I believe I'm living life as the person God made me to be. This friction creates a potential sticking point for the boys. They might end up caught between our differing worldviews. Thankfully, the boys don't seem to struggle too much with the difference between sinful behavior and living your truth. They don't see the way I'm living as sinful at all. It's just that I'm different, and the brain I was born with didn't match my body, and that's okay. It's not sinful to them that I am taking testosterone or changed my name or any of it, because LGBT is just different, not bad. I feel a certain sense of relief and pride that they accepted me so readily. It means I did a good job of raising them to not be bigoted, and that matters so much to me. I didn't anticipate being the test of that training, but I'm glad they passed with flying colors. Life now. Being Papa, fully present. And now? Now I'm just Papa. And honestly, it's the most authentic and incredible feeling in the world. My boys adapted remarkably well. They call me Papa without missing a beat, and if they slip up or misgender me, they're quick to correct themselves. It's truly amazing to see their kindness and their understanding. They accepted me no matter what, because to them, I'll always be Mom, even if they're calling me Papa. They know that if they need me to be Mommy, for any reason at all, I will become Mommy again for them in a heartbeat. So for them, it's a question of whether or not I am present for them. And that hasn't changed. I will always be present for them, whether as Mommy or as Papa, because they're my kids. And as my youngest so eloquently said, the substance of me hasn't changed, just what we call it. Being a trans parent means navigating the world in a specific way, though. Going out in public, I'm far more aware of how people perceive me, especially when I'm out with my kids. Folks assume I'm like a kooky aunt or an older sibling rather than their parent. At their school, it's about making sure that their records reflect my correct name and identity, and navigating conversations with teachers or other parents. It's been difficult because that's a Catholic school, and they don't acknowledge my transition as genuine or as acceptable. So we are running into some friction there. Although my voice has deepened just a tad, It's still not deep enough for me to pass as male over the phone, so navigating conversations with anyone over the phone can get a little awkward. And of course, alongside the gradual voice deepening and other physical changes from testosterone, especially having more energy to accomplish tasks, have turned out to be transformative. They've helped me feel more at home in my own skin, more grounded in my masculine identity, and more authentically present as the parent I always knew I was meant to be. The unfortunate reality is, challenges still exist, despite me taking every precaution to avoid them. Discrimination against trans people, especially trans parents, is real. Right now, we live in the South, and every time I go out wearing shorts, having hairy legs, I worry that this will be the time someone accuses me of being a degenerate or attacks me physically just for daring to live my truth publicly. That's a huge part of why, in a few years, I'm hoping to move our little family to a blue state, where there are more protections for trans people in everyday society. It's about finding a place where we all feel safer and more accepted, and where my children can grow up seeing their family as just as normal and valid as any other. But the overwhelming joys far outweigh the struggles. Being able to parent as my authentic self has deepened my connection with my boys in ways I never thought possible. They are growing up with such a broad, empathetic understanding of gender and identity. They see firsthand that it's love that makes a family, and being true to yourself and kind to others is the most important thing. They are kind, they are adaptable, and they make me incredibly proud every single day. In fact, it was my eldest's idea to have being a trans parent as the topic of this video. They are both very supportive of my transition and my journey. This newfound authenticity hasn't just transformed my parenting, it's given me the courage and clarity to pursue other significant changes in my life too, like diving headfirst into a new career path in IT. It reminds me that when you live true to yourself, you unlock strengths you didn't even know you had for all the other areas of your life. Yes, I'm still working on improving my mental health, and yes, the world still has its biases, but being able to be Papa, fully and authentically, is a gift. It's the most meaningful thing I do on any given day. I am able to be fully present for my boys in a way I never thought was possible. We have such a strong relationship now and are able to communicate meaningfully in ways I never would have expected or hoped. It's been 100% worth it to come out to them. Conclusion. My hope in sharing this is that it might resonate with other trans parents out there, or even maybe parents of trans kids who are navigating similar paths. You're not alone. And to anyone watching, my message is simple. Families come in all shapes and sizes, and what truly matters is the love, support, and authenticity within them. Thank you for listening to my story. If you have any questions or want to share your own experiences, please consider leaving a comment below. I would love to hear from you, and I appreciate the engagement. And to anyone leaving a mean comment, I understand that these mean comments come from a place of anger or hurt. I see you. I truly do. It can be incredibly intimidating, maybe even painful, to witness someone else living their truth when you feel trapped and unable to live yours. My heart goes out to that struggle within you. And I'm sending you love and prayers for healing and for the courage to find your own path to authenticity. Everyone deserves to live fully and freely. All right, that's it for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more conversations about life, tech, and everything in between. And I'll see you next time.